Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to share with you all a step-by-step and detailed video on making the perfect Sada Roti. A really thin, easy Sada Roti to make that makes a really great pocket that you can fill anything in. So if you guys love Sada Roti and love a thin Sada Roti, of course you can make this thick if you like. You just have to roll out the dough a little bit thicker, not thin. You're gonna get the perfect Sada Roti to fill with your favorite tankery. So stay tuned as I share with you guys my method of making Sada Roti. So guys, to make the Sada Roti, I already have 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour in my bowl, and to that I'm going to go in with my baking powder. And I'm adding in 3 teaspoons of baking powder. You just want to mix those 2 ingredients together. And now I'm going to go in with lukewarm water to create a soft to medium dough. I like throwing in the water and mixing it like this. Mixing it like this just helps bring the flour and the water together, and then I take my fingertips and I start squeezing to bring it together more. Once it feels like a soft medium-ish consistency, I set it aside and I add more water and continue to bring the rest. Pulling, grabbing, mixing. Set it aside and then bring the rest again. And now we're gonna bring all of the dough together and start kneading that together into a bowl. Your dough must not be very soft, and it must not be very hard. It will be sticky like this. This is the consistency you want the dough. So I like to pull and push in just for this part as we're now bringing it together. Right, so as you can see, it's a little bit sticky. And all you have to do is add some dried flour to this now. And now we're going to get into the kneading process. So I'm going to knead it like this, pulling in and pushing out just for a little bit, just until I get that tackiness off of the roti or off of the flour. And full credit goes to my mother for teaching me how to knead roti. As I've always told you guys, my mom has a roti shop. She has a restaurant in Trinidad. She sells roti and so many other things. And from a little girl growing up, she's the one that I learned to make roti from. Now I'm going in with a little more dry flour again. Now that we have no more tackiness on the flour, I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to squeeze and turn. Squeeze and turn. And this is how I like to knead my flour, as you'll see in my bus-up short roti, or even when I do the Dhalpuri version to this, you will see this is how I like to do it. And as it starts to get sticky or tacky, I'll add a little more dry flour and keep squeezing and turning. Squeezing and turning. So I'm gonna do this for about 5 minutes because I want a really nice smooth dough. I want that gluten to form, and that's how you'll get a really nice Sada Roti. You don't want to leave the flour looking rough because then you will not get a good outcome. So I'll see you guys back after 5 minutes of kneading. So guys, the flour is right where I want it to be. Now I want to tell you guys, once you follow this method and you really massage and knead this flour like how I'm showing you guys for that 5 minutes, you can cook this roti right away. You don't have to leave it to rest because it will cook perfectly, because that kneading actually helps to strengthen the gluten strands in the flour and to make it cook really well. But I'm gonna leave this to rest for 5 minutes. Just like this. So you guys can have a close look at the dough, what it looks like. You can see how smooth that dough is, not rough at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now cover this with a damp paper towel And the reason why using a damp paper towel is so that the skin or scale doesn't form on the outside or the top of the dough ball. So just cover it with that and cover it with a tea towel and allow it to rest for 5 minutes. Okay, the flour is finished soaking. I'm just gonna break it into small dough balls now, and I'm gonna make this into 3 dough balls, and I'm gonna scoop, and then I'm gonna come here and squeeze, break it off, and then form it into a dough ball like this by pulling the ends up like this. Now if it's a little bit sticky, you can use some dry flour if you like, but use a very little. I don't like to use too much of dry flour when I'm making Sada Roti. And I'm gonna sprinkle my surface with a little bit of dry flour so it doesn't stick, and then place it on your surface and make the other 2 dough balls. Break it into half and then pull the ends up like this, and place it on your surface. And make the last dough ball, bringing the ends up. Now we have to allow this to rest for 2 minutes because we just made those strands in there really tight. So I'm gonna cover it again with my damp paper towel and my tea towel and allow it to rest for that 2 minutes. Now while I have my dough resting there for that 2 minutes, you want to put up your tower to heat up on a medium low heat. You don't want your tower to be too hot or too cold. You want it to be like, if you're using an electric stove like me, you want it to be on a 5 or 6 around there. And you want to make sure your tower is properly heated before you place that roti on there, or else you will not get a good outcome. Okay, now that my flour is finished resting on the dough balls, we're gonna lightly flour our surface. Lightly flour the dough ball. Now when I'm making Sada Roti, I don't like using plenty dry flour. We're gonna open out the roti and more thinner on the ends. I don't like when you cook Sada Roti and you feel all that dry flour on your hands. That's one turn off for me. So I just put just a little bit and not extra. And then we're going to roll the roti out, and you want it to be a nice even roll, so about 1/4 inch thickness. And you'll notice I'm not adding any additional dry flour. So let me teach you guys a trick. When you finish, roll out your roti, pick it up, because remember it will be sticking to your surface. Just pick it up, and you will want to dust off any dry flour that's on it. Well, I like to do that. And just leave it there to rest for about 60 seconds, 1 minute. Because sometimes if you go right away to the tower with it, it tends to not puff up really easily. So this is just a trick I'm teaching you guys. Remove it, don't let it be sticking to the countertop. Let it rest for that 1 minute and then we'll cook it. Okay, now it's time to put the roti onto the tower. Now when you put the roti onto the tower, don't turn it. Allow it to cook there for about 20 seconds. And you're gonna see bubbles forming. If it passes 20 seconds and you don't see the bubbles forming, just wait. Allow there to be a lot of bubbles on the top before we flip it. I see those bubbles. Now we're gonna turn the roti and allow it to cook on that side for another 60 seconds. We want that side to get a really nice brown color, because when we go to cook it, we'll be browning this top side. Okay, let's check the roti. So it has a really nice brown color. I'm gonna flip it over on this side, and now we're gonna sake the roti. So you're gonna pull the tower off of the stove, and we're gonna push the roti over the heat. Now I'm using my electric stove, but you can use your gas stove for this. And you see how it's puffing up? That's what you want. You want the roti to puff up throughout. And that trick of letting it rest that couple of seconds before you cooking it works so well all of the time. A perfectly puffed roti. And that's how easy it is to make the perfect Sada roti. So I'm gonna continue cooking the rest of the rotis and then I'll show you guys when I'm done. Now when I finish cook my roti, I like to cut it with a scissors. I find it actually cuts faster and better for me, but everyone has their own preference and their own way of cutting their roti, so just do it the way you're accustomed to doing it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode on how to make the perfect Sada roti. I tried to go step by step and really detailed. Sada roti is really easy to make, so simple. So leave me your comments down below, and thank you all so much again for requesting this video. Leave me your requests in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!